160 years ago, the very first Illinois State Fair was held, and right here in Springfield. Since then, it's definitely changed. A man who knows a lot about that, Tom Fitch. He's a volunteer here. Nice to have you, Tom.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. I've got a love of history, and I've been coming to the fair for at least 50 years, so I always enjoy it.
And that was before you started to become kind of a fair historian, right?
Yes, I started volunteering about 3 or 4 years ago here at the museum, and I volunteered primarily for the history aspect of it and to learn what I could about the fair and to show others what I've learned, and I really love it.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be coming through here too, in part to look at some of these old pictures. So we have a nice aerial photograph, and it says it's dated 1954 or so. Let's take a look at it. Point out some of the aspects people might recognize or might not anymore.
Okay, this right here is where we have the Adventure Village today and the Ethnic Village, and you notice the fountain has not been built. As we look up here, we see where they used to have the ice shows. And I thought, you can't have ice in August, but they did. The row of flags is right here.
Okay.
And a lot of our buildings are over 100 years old. The exposition building was built in 1894, and you can still see the cornerstone today. And the dairy building was 1903, and the Coliseum 1901. And in fact, the building we're in today, the grandstand, was built in 1927.
Okay, and we've got some artifacts over here too that kind of take us back to the old days. So let's talk a little bit about this seat. You've got old and new seats. Where might people have seen this and when?
Well, this was probably in the 1920s. This came from a Ferris wheel. And over here we've got some of the newer restored versions, and people have been gracious enough to donate those things to us, and we really appreciate it.
Now, these photos were kind of a find, right? You were telling me that you didn't even have these until recently.
No, I happened to find an envelope with these negatives in it, and they were labeled 1912. It turns out they're from the 1920s. But we got them scanned and printed, and it shows you a lot of the carnival area of what the fair was like in the 1920s. And you'll see some of the rides in Happy Hollow. And this is the new grandstand, and this is the old one, the back of it. And if you get up real close, you can see concession stands and swings that are shaped like boats, and the kids got to sit in and swing.
That's fun.
And I love to look at the clothing of the people, with the boys wearing the caps and the knickers, and the girls wearing the white shoes and stockings. And over here, the people were so much more dressed up. Okay, these were pennants, and the ones that we have dated are right here. A lot of these have been donated to us by people, and we're always looking for more donations and artifacts that people have. I mean, we always acknowledge that they gave them to us, and we try to get them out as soon as we can so people can see them.
You're trying to actually create a full history of the Illinois State Fair, and you've done some of that work digitally.
Yes, I've gone through all the newspapers during the month where the fair occurred, and I've typed in information about every one of the fairs and where it took place and when it took place, and any little interesting facts that I could find, and I've made it into a computer file, and we hope to get it on the internet shortly.
Yeah, getting that timeline together, which is really crucial, not only to studying the history of the fair, but boy, that provides a lot of fun.
Yes, what I've done is I've made a sheet with every one of the years of the fair, and all you do is click on it, and it takes you right to it, and all the information you need is right there.
Yeah, really great. Tom Fitch, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, putting together some of this great stuff here at the Illinois State Fair.